The sun was dipping behind the jagged silhouette of Mount Rtanj. Its sharp peak pierced the sky like a forgotten blade. Below, a dusty road wound its way through dense forest. And on that road, a car hummed quietly, carrying three souls who didn't yet know what waited for them. Car, evening, inside SUV driving up the mountain. Lana, softly, half joking. So, remind me again why we're driving into the mountains, at dusk? Mila, gazing ahead. Because this place. Rtanj, it's different. People feel things here. They see things. It's not just folklore. VUK, adjusting the audio recorder. And it makes good content. Paranormal, mystical. All the right keywords. Lana, smirks. Right. Just don't expect me to start believing in ghost pyramids. Brief silence, wind picks up outside. Mila, whispers. You might not have a choice. Rural road, moments later. The car wound higher through trees that grew darker with each turn. No cell signal. No houses. Just endless forest. And soon, at the edge of a clearing, a figure appeared. Clearing, twilight. Marco, old voice, calm. You must be Mila. Mila, stepping out. Yes. And this is my sister Lana. And Vuk, our cameraman. Marco. Welcome to Rtanj. Be careful, not everything here wants to be found. Pause, just wind and the faint rustle of dry leaves. The guide turned and walked toward an old stone cottage. The kind built to outlast winters and whispers. They followed. None of them spoke again until the door creaked open. Stone cottage, night. Crackling fire, soft wind against windows, distant owl hoots. The cottage was quiet, too quiet. Its walls were thick with time and something else. Something heavier than stone. A presence that lived in the silence between breaths. Marco, lighting a lantern. There's no electricity. Only this. She prefers it that way. Lana, whispers. She. Marco, smiles faintly. The mountain. Rtanj. You'll understand, if you listen closely. Hint. Same, later that night, around the fireplace. Fire popping softly, occasional creak of old wood. VUK, checking his camera gear. We'll start filming tomorrow sunrise shots from the eastern ridge. Mila, you okay with the cold? Mila, distracted, staring into the fire. Yes. I felt something when we got out of the car. Like the ground itself was breathing. Lana, half laughing. You're not gonna start with the spooky stuff already, are you? Mila, gently. No. It's not spooky. It's ancient. Narrator. Vuk raised an eyebrow, but said nothing. Marco stirred the fire, not with wood, but with a thick branch, carved and worn. The room dimmed for a moment, as if the shadows inhaled. Marco, calmly. The mountain doesn't speak in words. It dreams. And sometimes, if you're open, you dream with her. Silence stretches. Then a sharp knock at the door. Knock. 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 Too rhythmic. Too slow. Lana, quietly. Who would knock, way out here? Marco, without turning. No one. Pause. No one moves. Then nothing. Just wind again. They all waited, listening. But the knock did not return. Instead, the fire dimmed. And the wind began to hum. A low, vibrating tone, like a voice beneath the earth. Mila, softly. She's awake. Mountain ridge, early morning. Soft wind, bird calls, boots crunching over frost-covered grass. The mountain was cold at dawn. Rtanj stood still, vast, ancient. Fog hung low like breath held by the trees. And the group moved slowly. Eyes wide, minds quiet. VUK, pointing camera. Okay, hold that position, Mila. Sun's coming through the mist just right. Mila, turning slightly. There, behind that tree line. Do you hear that? Lana. Hear what? They all pause. Wind passes. Mila, whispers. A voice. Like someone humming. Just beneath the wind. VUK, checking mic. I'm not picking up anything. Tree line, moments later. Narrator. They followed the sound Mila heard. Past crooked trees, bent in strange ways. Until they reached a ridge. And found something buried in the earth. Lana, kneeling. What is that? Looks like a stone. But flat. Cut. Marco, serious tone. Leave it. She doesn't like to be uncovered. Mila. Marco, what is this? Marco. One of the doors. Not for us to open. The stone was etched, barely visible lines carved with purpose. Circles within circles. A symbol no one recognized. Except, perhaps, the mountain. And then, the humming returned. Low frequency tone, almost musical, grows louder. Not from around, from beneath. Lana, nervously. Mila, please don't touch it. Mila, entranced. I'm not. But it feels like it's touching me. Suddenly silence. No birds. No wind. Narrator, slowly. And in that silence. They all heard it. A whisper, not spoken aloud. But carved into thought. The whisper, gentle, layered female voice, barely audible. Remember. VUK, backing away. Okay. That's enough for today. We're going back. Marco, firm. Good. Before it notices. Int. Cottage, night, living area. Fire crackling softly. Wind outside has picked up. Window panes rattle gently. Narrator. That night, the mountain grew louder, not in sound, but in presence. As if it pressed against the walls of the old cottage, listening in. Lana, wrapping a blanket around herself. I swear, the wind never stops here. Feels like it's circling the house. Mila, quietly flipping through an old notebook. It's not just wind. Marco, where did this journal come from? Marco, sitting by the fire. It was left here, years ago. A woman brought it. She said the mountain spoke to her in dreams. Then, she vanished. Int. Same, Mila reading journal. Narrator. The journal was worn, pages stained with moisture and ash. The handwriting frantic, but elegant. As if someone had written in a trance. Mila, reading aloud. She showed me the mirror. But it was not my face. It was her. The one beneath. Watching through me. I woke up with soil beneath my fingernails. But I had not left the bed. Lana, eyes wide. Okay, That's enough. VUK. Wait, keep going. Mila, reading softer. Rtanj remembers. The ground beneath is not dead, it dreams. And sometimes, it calls you by your name. Pause. Everyone sits in silence. Lana. Mila, why do I feel like you've read this before? Mila, gently. Because I have. In a dream. Narrator. Marco didn't move. But his eyes, once cloudy with age, were sharp now, watching Mila. Marco. You're not the first to come looking for answers. But you might be the first to return with them. Crash. One of the windows blows open. Wind rushes in. Lana screams. What the? VUK, rushing to shut it. It just blew open. Mila whispers. No. She opened it. Narrator, calmly, slowly. And outside the window. Far up the slope. A single light blinked once, and vanished. As if something waited, in the dark. Base of the slope, early morning. Heavy fog, sound of crunching gravel, distant birdsong fading. Narrator. At dawn, the light was gray, stretched thin like old fabric. The mountain was quiet, too quiet. And yet, something called to them. Not with sound. But with memory. VUK, checking his camera. The battery's dead. All of them. Fully charged last night. They're just drained. Lana. Let's take that as a sign. We should go back down. Mila, calmly. We're not done yet. Hillside, later. They approach a low rock formation, almost hidden under moss. Marco, quiet. This is where the others felt it too. Some called it the door. Others, never gave it a name. Mila, kneeling. It's warm. The rock, it's warm. Lana. That makes no sense. It's freezing. And then the humming began again. Low, soft, pulsing. Like a lullaby for something ancient. Sound grows, layered voices barely audible underneath, not words, just intention. VUK, half hypnotized. I feel heavy. Like my body's made of stone. Mila. It's her. She's dreaming again. Lana touches her arm. Mila, you're shaking. Mila. I saw her, just now. In my head. A woman, tall. Eyes like the sky before a storm. She's under the mountain. Int. Vision sequence, Mila's mind, surreal, dreamlike. Soft heartbeat. Whispers. The vision is internal. In a blink, Mila was no longer on the ridge. She stood beneath it. In darkness. Before her a chamber made of roots and bone. At its center, a mirror, cracked down the middle. The woman's voice, echoing, layered. You came for truth. But truth is a knife. Mila whispers. What are you? The woman. I am what sleeps. What breathes beneath your feet. What remembers. And then a sound like thunder without lightning. A deep pulse, from the heart of the mountain. And Mila woke. Ridge, continuous. Mila, gasping. We have to go down. There's something below. A tunnel, or a cavern. It's real. Marco, firm. You don't go down. You fall down. And most don't return. Silence. Wind returns. A distant rumble like a shifting stone. Narrator. But it was too late. The mountain had already opened its eyes. And it had chosen them. Co. Rock face, later that day. Wind howling, branches creaking overhead. They stand at the entrance of a narrow crevice. Narrator. The wind led them to it. A wound in the rock. Narrow. Hidden. Waiting. Like the earth had swallowed something long ago, and left a scar behind. Vuk, peering into the crevice. How far does it go? Marco, gravely. Far enough. But it's not distance that matters in there. It's memory. Lana, to Mila. You don't actually want to go in there, do you? Mila, softly. I don't want to. I have to. Hint. Cavern entrance, dimly lit. Footsteps echoing, flashlight beams flicker, breath becomes louder. Narrator. The walls narrowed. The light thinned. And as they moved deeper, sound itself seemed to bend. As if the space inside the mountain was alive, listening. Drip. Drip, distant murmuring, like voices submerged underwater. Vuk, nervously. These carvings, they weren't made by nature. Lana. Symbols, repeated again and again. Like, a warning. Mila. Or an invitation. Marco, quietly. This place remembers everything that enters it. Lower cavern, later. Cavern opens into a wide chamber. Smooth walls. At the center a stone pedestal. Narrator. Time unraveled down there. Breath stretched long. Thoughts arrived before they were formed. And the mountain, remembered. Mila, approaching the pedestal. This is where she spoke to me. In the dream. Lana, trembling. It feels wrong. Like we're inside someone's mind. Marco. You are. Low hum begins. The pedestal pulses faintly with light. Mila, touching the stone. She's close. Vision within the cavern, Mila's mind. Darkness becomes liquid. A form takes shape, tall, feminine, faceless yet full of presence. The woman's voice, soft, all around. You brought them. You broke the silence. Mila. What are you? The woman. I am the memory of stone. The weight beneath your sleep. I am the root beneath your fear. Cavern, back to reality. Vuk, pulling Mila back. Mila. You passed out? Mila, gasping, dazed. She showed me. Not the future, but before. Something is buried here. Something that was never meant to be found. Lana. Then we leave. Now. Please. Marco, solemn. You can leave. But part of you will stay. And as they turned to leave the chamber, the stone beneath their feet seemed softer. Like the mountain was breathing through them. And watching. EXT mountain slope, sunset. Steps crunch through dry grass. Birds silent. Orange light filters through clouds. They emerged as the sun began to fall. But the mountain did not release them. Not fully. Time had stretched beneath the earth. And the world above had shifted in their absence. Lana, breathing heavily. It's colder than before. The air feels wrong. Vuk. How long were we down there? Mila, distant. Long enough for her to remember us. Clearing near cottage, moments later. The cottage is visible, but the windows are dark. Smoke rises from the chimney, yet no one lit a fire. Narrator. The trees lean differently now. Their limbs twisted, as if listening. The sky was heavy not with storm, but with memory. Marco, staring at cottage. Something followed us. Lana, shivering. No. No, we left it down there. Marco. You can't leave what's already inside you. Cottage, night. Fireplace crackles without a source. Shadows stretch unnaturally. The group sits silently. VUK, softly. There's something wrong with the cameras. All the footage is gone. But the batteries are full again. Lana. I looked in the mirror just now. And for a second, I wasn't looking back at myself. Mila, reading again from the journal. Once you are seen, you cannot become unseen. She lives in the reflection. Not of light, but of memory. Marco stood by the door, unmoving. His eyes glassy. His voice, low. Marco, almost chanting. Rtanj was not built. She rose. She rose, from what we buried. Lana, frantic. He's not okay. Mila, what's happening to him? Sudden gust of wind blows out all light, total darkness. Narrator. And then nothing. No flame. No sound. Only the breath of the mountain inside the room. The woman's voice, whisper, close and distant at once. I remember you. I watched you sleep. I watched you leave. Mila, firmly, to the air. We didn't come to take anything. Only to understand. The woman. Then understand this. What lies buried does not forget. And now, neither will you. A soft rumble not outside, but beneath their feet. Like something shifting, awakening. And outside the window, far up the slope. The lights returned. One by one, blinking. Not stars. Eyes. Wooded path, early morning. Steps quick and frantic. Birds silent. Mist clings low to the ground. Narrator. At first light, they packed what little they had. No one spoke. Words felt brittle. As if speaking them might shatter the silence that pressed around them. Lana, checking the GPS. It doesn't make sense. It says we're moving, but we're not going anywhere. VUK, holding compass. It keeps spinning. Every direction points back the same way. Mila, quietly. She's folding the path. We're walking inside her now. Small clearing, later. They stop to rest. Trees seem taller than before. Sunlight doesn't break through. Marco, sitting heavily. I told myself I'd never come back down this way. Lana. What do you mean? Marco, staring at the trees. I came here before. Years ago. There were more of us. We heard the hum, we followed it. Only I returned. Narrator. Mila sat beside him. Not as someone who questioned, but as someone who knew. Her fingers touched the earth like it was a living thing. Mila, softly. She chose you back then. You didn't escape. You were sent back. To bring the rest of us. VUK, panic rising. No. No, that's not real. We just got turned around. The fog's messing with us. That's all. Lana. Vuk, do you remember how we got here? The drive. The road. VUK, pauses, then softly. I remember the plan. But not the drive. Not the road. Wind rises, not natural. A layered, breathy tone behind it. Like a whisper crawling inside their heads. The woman's voice, overlapping with wind. You forgot, because I let you. You found me, because I wanted you to. Now, stay. Marco, shouting into the trees. Enough. We're not yours. The woman, still whispering. But you were never yours, either. Sky darker than it should be. The trees seem to shift when not looking directly at them. Narrator. Time dissolved. They walked for hours, or minutes. Or days. And still, the cottage never grew smaller behind them. As if the world bent back on itself. Mila, stopping. She's not chasing us. We are circling her heart. And she's waiting for us to give up. Lana, sitting down, exhausted. I dreamed of this place. When I was a child. The mountain, the whisper. I just didn't know it was real. Marco. Some dreams are memories waiting to be remembered. And somewhere between their steps. And their silence. The trees began to sing. A low, ancient melody. Not with joy. But with warning. Night, ridge overlooking the mountain. Sky starless. Wind unnaturally still. Group stands together, facing the slope. Narrator. They returned to where it began. Not because they wanted to. But because the mountain had led them in circles. Until they were ready to remember. Mila, clutching the journal. This last page, it's new. I didn't see it before. Lana. How can it be new? Mila, reading. To see her is to see yourself. But not the self you've become. The one you buried to survive. EXT rock formation, flashback vision, shared memory. Time warps. The scene blurs, and suddenly they are watching their younger selves, children running through the forest. Narrator. They saw a truth none remembered. Or rather, one they had chosen not to. A visit long ago. A vanishing. A bargain. Young Mila, giggling, standing by the stone pedestal. Do you hear her? Young Lana. She says she's lonely. Young VUK. She says we can play, forever. The woman's voice, echoing. You came once as children. And left me a piece of yourselves. Your fear. Your wonder. Your silence. Hint. Vision, the heart of the mountain. A massive underground chamber. Roots drip with black sap. At the center, a mirror of still water. Narrator. At last, they reached it. The source. The wound. The memory too old to carry, yet too powerful to forget. Mila, approaching the pool. It's not water. It's thought. Lana. Don't touch it, Mila. Mila, whispers. I already did. Years ago. A pulse, like a heartbeat made of stone. Lights flicker in the reflection faces. Themselves, older. Broken. Changed. The woman's voice. You are what you bury. You are what you leave behind. VUK, backing away. I don't want to know what I left behind. Marco, staring into the reflection. Then she will take from you what you don't offer willingly. Flash memory, Marco's past. A younger Marco kneels before the mountain, burying something small, a photo. A locket. Marco had come before. To forget. To bury grief beneath stone. And now. She had returned it. Sharp tone like glass breaking under pressure. The mirror ripples violently. The woman, furious now. You left me your pain. And now you carry mine. Mila, tears in her eyes. What do you want from us? The woman, soft again. Not to be alone. Not again. And for a moment. Just a breath. They understood her. She was not a monster. She was memory itself. Too vast to die. Too old to forgive. Marco, placing his hand on the ground. Then let me stay. Let them go. Mila. No. She doesn't want one. She wants all of us because we are her. We gave her shape. We gave her voice. SFX, silence. A single bell rings somewhere in the dark. Then, the wind returns. Mountain peak, night. The sky clears. Stars appear. The tension breaks, but only barely. And just like that, the mountain exhaled. It did not release them. But it let them go, for now. Lana, staring at the sky. Was it real? VUK. Does it matter? Mila, closing the journal. She knows we remember. And that's all she wanted. Marco, quietly. Some memories don't want to stay buried. Country road, early morning. A pale light. The road winds gently through fog. The van drives slowly. Radio static hums softly. They left Rtanj before dawn. The road greeted them like an old friend. Quiet, empty, and a little too straight. No one spoke. Some truths do not live well in daylight. Lana, looking out the window. It's so still. Like the world, forgot how to move. VUK, adjusting the radio. There's no signal. Not even static now. Hint. Inside the van, later. The journal rests in Mila's lap. She stares at it, not reading, not touching it, just listening. Mila, softly. She's quiet now. Marco. Is she gone? Mila, shakes her head. She's remembering. Narrator. And in that silence, each of them held the weight of what they'd seen. Not horror. Not fear. Something older. The understanding that some things in this world are not meant to be explained. Only respected. EXT small town gas station, afternoon. Life resumes. A dog barks. A woman sweeps her porch. No one notices the group arriving. Lana, smiling faintly. It's strange. Everything's normal. And I feel like we never left. Mila. We never really did. Hint. Coffee shop, soft jazz playing. Steam from cups, warm light. They sit together, a kind of peace settling in. VUK. Do we tell anyone? Marco. Tell them what? Lana. That there's something under the mountain. And it's alive. Mila, gentle. No. We don't tell them. But we remember. That's what she wanted. Just, not to be forgotten. Night, each character alone in their homes. Soft transitions, Lana staring at the moon, Vuk listening to wind outside his window, Marco burying the journal, Mila watching her reflection in a dark window. Back in their homes. The quiet followed them. Not haunting. Not cruel. Just, present. A reminder that something ancient had stirred beneath their feet. And that they had heard it. Very faint hum barely there like distant wind through hollow stone. Mila's room, night. Candle light flickers. She opens her notebook. Begins to write. Mila, voiceover. Rtanj isn't just a place. It's a mind. A memory wrapped in stone. We didn't uncover it. It uncovered us. Narrator, slow, fading. And somewhere beneath the earth, in a chamber made of root and silence, she sleeps again. Not alone. Not forgotten. Just, waiting. Fade out. Title card, whispered. The Paranormal Experiences, Rtanj. Thank you for listening. Good night.